When the disciples were washed and were seated at the table to eat, Yeshaya, Jesus said,
I have washed you, yet are you not all clean. For as much as all the water of the sea will not wash him that believes me not.
This said Yeshaya, Jesus, because he knew who was betraying him. The disciples were sad at these words. When Yeshaya, Jesus said again,
Truly I say to you, that one of you shall betray me, insomuch that I shall be sold like a sheep, but woe to him, for he shall fulfill all that our father David said of such an individual, that he shall fall into the pit which he had prepared for others.
Whereupon the disciples looked one upon another, saying with sorrow,
Who shall be the traitor?
Judas then said,
Shall it be I, O Master?
Yeshaya, Jesus answered,
You have told me who it shall be that shall betray me.
And the 11 apostles heard it not. When the lamb was eaten, the devil came upon the back of Judas, and he went forth from the house, Yeshaya, Jesus saying to him again,
Do quickly that which you must do.
Having gone forth from the house, Yeshaya, Jesus retired into the garden to pray, according as his custom was to pray, bowing his knees 100 times, and prostrating himself upon his face. Judas accordingly, knowing the place where Yeshaya, Jesus was with his disciples, went to the high priest and said,
If you will give me what was promised, this night will I give into your hand Yeshaya, Jesus whom you seek, for he is alone with 11 companions.
The high priest answered,
How much do you seek?
Judas said,
30 pieces of gold.
Then straightway the high priest counted to him the money, and sent a Pharisee to the governor to fetch soldiers and to Herod. And they gave a legion of them, because they feared the people, wherefore they took their arms, and with torches and lanterns upon staves went out of Jerusalem. When the soldiers with Judas drew near to the place where Yeshaya, Jesus was, Yeshaya, Jesus heard the approach of many people, wherefore in fear he withdrew into the house. And the 11 were sleeping. Then Allah, the Source Almighty, seeing the danger of his servant, commanded Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and Uriel, his ministers, to take Yeshaya, Jesus, out of the world. The holy angels came and took Yeshaya, Jesus, out by the window that looks toward the south. They bare him and placed him in the third heaven, in the company of angels, blessing Allah, the Source Almighty forevermore. Judas entered impetuously before all into the chamber, whence Yeshaya, Jesus, had been taken up, and the disciples were sleeping. Whereupon the wonderful Source, Allah Almighty, acted wonderfully, insomuch that Judas was so changed in speech and in face to be like Yeshaya, Jesus, that we believed him to be Yeshaya, Jesus. And he, having awakened us, was seeking where the Master was. Whereupon we marveled and answered,
You, sir, are our Master. Have you now forgotten us?
And he, smiling, said,
Now are you foolish that know not me to be Judas Iscariot?
And as he was saying this, the soldiery entered, and laid their hands upon Judas, because he was in every way like to Yeshaya, Jesus. We, having heard Judas's saying, and seeing the multitude of soldiers, fled as beside ourselves. And John, who was wrapped in a linen cloth, awoke and fled. And when a soldier seized him by the linen cloth, he left the linen cloth and fled naked. For Allah, the Source Almighty, heard the prayer of Yeshaya, Jesus, and saved the 11 from evil. The soldiers took Judas and bound him, not without derision. For he truthfully denied that he was Yeshaya, Jesus, and the soldiers, mocking him, said,
Sir, fear not, for we are come to make you king of Israel, and we have bound you because we know that you do refuse the kingdom.
Judas answered,
Now have you lost your senses? You have come to take Yeshaya, Jesus of Nazareth, with arms and lanterns as against a robber. and you have bound me that have guided you to make me king.
Then the soldiers lost their patience, and with blows and kicks they began to flout Judas, and they led him with fury into Jerusalem. John and Peter followed the soldiers afar off, and they affirmed to him who writes that they saw all the examination that was made of Judas by the high priest and by the council of the Pharisees, who were assembled to put Yeshaya Jesus to death. Whereupon Judas spoke many words of madness, insomuch that everyone was filled with laughter, believing that he was really Yeshaya Jesus, and that for fear of death he was feigning madness.